what's up, y'all? This thing's being weird, huh? Hello, and welcome to the morning routine. It's not really the morning routine anymore, is it? This is the 360 live stream, and I'm your guy, Terry B. We also have Jason Gallacher, the owner of Affinity Cycles. Here we are in the Affinity shop studio. I call it a studio. This is where I do majority of my cycling-related content, headquarters, stream stuff. We got David in the back from Moonshine Media. He's hidden behind the scenes. I wanted to give him a microphone so he could he could chime in, but he's behind the scenes helping with the scene transitions and doing all this beautiful 360 work, as you can see. We're kind of going to wait a little bit until Jason comes in. He's running a little late. For now, those of you who are new around here, this is a 360 stream, so you could move the camera around. I'm going to move around the camera. It's going to look weird because there's stitch lines. I'm sorry, Dave, but this is what I'm going to do. So you can pan the camera around if you're on a phone, or you can move the phone around like this. We also have the camera over here that will be on tracking. There's two projection screens being projected on the walls. One is the camera by my desk. We have another one here. Today we're going to talk about cycling motivation. But really we should talk about how to be punctual for live streams. We're going to have to get into it with Jason once he gets in. Let me get these headphones on so I can hear what kind of music's playing. Oh, that sounds all right. Okay. So, a couple updates about, while we wait, a couple updates about YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, everything that I've been doing. Been doing some stuff behind the scenes, trying to retool the perks and features of just giving the channel extra support. So I have made some more efforts to put out edits earlier and also do extended cuts. So everyone who is a channel member, speaking of channel members, I have changed the names. They are all now SRAM. It's NXGX, X01 and XX1. And oh, look at this, Jason's here. Here, Jason, let me put this on you here. There we go. Perfect. Jason's mic'd up.
What up? What up,
Jason
y'all?
just walked in. Boom. So for those of you who are doing the extra support here on YouTube, there is a link for extra early access to edits and also extended cuts. And I'm going to try to do that. I don't know if I can do it for every edit, but I'm going to do it for a majority of the edits. Some of the edits aren't going to make sense for extended cuts, just because they might be shorter edits. But you know, hoping to give some more value to the extra support. And also, I have reinstated the Patreon, because there have been people who have been on Patreon for over 2 years, and I have made it a point to tell them, hey, we're going to do YouTube channel members, and people had stayed on Patreon the whole time, continuing to support me. So I am now also putting the links there for the people who decide to only be on Patreon, so that's also open as well. All right, Josh 50, you ain't hearing no music? Shit. All right, let's get to some questions while Jason gets comfortable over there. You can sort yourself out. It's all good.
Are we?
We're live.
We're live.
We are live.
We have another guest? No.
Cooper might come in. Special guest Cooper Ray might come in. Also, Laura is not. She's not. She's like, I didn't know you guys are still doing this. So she's like, I'm at lunch. I think she forgot.
Cooper's
Laura.
Cooper's at my house gardening right now.
Oh, okay. So Cooper's not. Cooper's
like
not.
Literally.
Cooper's not coming.
Hey, Cooper. Thanks.
Cooper's not coming either. So no one's coming. We are the guests today.
We are the guests.
That's all right. Just you gotta roll with it.
We gotta roll with it.
Audio is low. One of the cameras is janky. One of one of the cameras has a Jake HDMI cable, and YouTube is starting a 4K feed from our camera. Happy days.
Oh.
The mic is a little low. Hey? Okay.
My mic? Is that better?
We can turn it up.
Better? Turn it up.
Oh, yeah. Let's try to turn this up before we get too into it here. That's all the way up.
Did you hear the guy from the Humpty Dance song died?
No.
What's up with all these people dying? Like, you know, I'm not. So DMX died and he was 50, and the Humpty Dance guy died and he was 57. And I'm 43. So if I died at 50, that means I only got 7 years. That's awful. I'm not old, but I don't want to die at 50. Man, it's weird to think about, right?
Yeah.
Getting old.
Hold that thought. Sorry, I'm just gonna. We got to put this in autofocus, Terry. There we go. Now it'll focus on Jason.
Everybody talking about Terry's cool T-shirt.
No one has said anything about my T-shirt.
Dude.
Nobody has said anything about my shirt.
You got the story behind that? Can you tell me about it?
So I'm wearing this shirt, if you guys can see here. This is from, what's his name? It says it on the back. What's it say on the back? I forget the Instagram. What's it say?
Oh, that's from Head. Oh, that's Shithead Steve.
Yeah, Shithead Steve. It's a meme Instagram account, and I don't know if you guys follow it, but the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been posting a bunch of shit about cyclists, and I think it's hilarious. He's just talking shit about roadie and commuter cyclists, basically. And the best part is the feedback from people who aren't cyclists, who are like, yeah, fuck them, blah, 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 talking mad shit in the comments, but then there's cyclists also talking shit back, and it's like he's just playing around. It's not that bad, but they're taking it serious. So, and then he's taking the screenshots that people are DMing him, and then he's reposting those on his stories. Anyways, he made this shirt, and I thought I had to support. So, if you guys want to know where it is, it's Shithead Steve. I don't have any connection to the person or the meme account, but that's what it is. It's pretty good. So I just got it. So support the things you think are good, and that's what I did here. I guess I'm gonna switch to this mic and sit down for a bit.
Samuli, yeah, I'm a 77. I think that still makes me 43. I think I'm 40. I don't even know how old I am anymore. That's also kind of scary. What up, Juan? My trip was good. I'm always in a rush. I should have ridden my bike, and I actually would have gotten here on time, but the parking here sucks, which also means Dimitri's on here. I got my car back, which is good, and it's alive. But yeah, but it's Friday. It's Friday, which is good.
It is Friday. Let's say what's up to, let's see what's going on here. Let's say what up to everyone in the chat here. I see Matthew B up in there. What up, Matthew B? We got Colorado Kid. What up? Farting soon. Since it's cut off a bit. Oh, shit. Colorado Kid, it's a 360 stream. My guy, did you not see it?
Zip around.
You can move it around, dude. You can move the camera around if you're still here. I don't know if you're still here, but let's see. Who else is up in here? Retired Quitter, what's up? So I met Retired Quitter. I guess let me turn this camera down a little bit so you can see my face.
Awesome.
I met Retired Quitter the other day, last weekend, around Laura's birthday. So that was cool to meet him in person. What's up, dude? Ian, we got ATB Media up in here. Alex Taylor Barrett. He needs motivation. Gustavo, what up? Jamie Bodman, hello. What up? What up? Tim Fitzwater, what up? Good morning. Josh 50. Devin, Swish Buckets, casting to the TV this time. Oh, yeah. I don't know how it works on the television. It's kind of weird. Samuli, what up? What up? Marshall Britt, hello. And Novelist Eye, hello, hello. It's Matthew B's brother. Actually, there's a conspiracy theory that Novelist Eye and Matthew B are the same person.
Uh-oh.
Hello, hello. This is a 360 stream. Please, you guys got to move it around. You can change the camera angle. Uh-oh, speaking of camera angles, we lost Jason in the here, let me find him. I have the camera controls here.
What up?
There we go.
Dude.
And let's lock them on. Is it locked onto the man? I can't tell. Let me see. There we go. Now we're locked on. So this morning's episode, what we're talking about is cycling motivation. We were gonna get a guest in here. We were gonna do a little hotline call with them, Laura, but she's not available, as you heard.
Laura's frontline. She's a teacher.
Yeah, she's a teacher, so she's especially probably hard for her to keep her motivation. So we wanted to talk about how to keep your motivation with cycling. Especially things can get repetitive and it could be hard to keep the stoke high. So
Yeah.
before we get into it, or as we're getting into it, how do you guys battle the motivation to keep riding when you've ridden the same areas, or you've doing the same training, or you're doing the same intervals, and how do you keep motivated if you're someone like Jason and you're training and there's no racing yet? How do you do it? Let us know.
Tell me.
So yeah, Jason, what do you do for the motivation to keep riding?
When you mentioned it to me yesterday, I chuckled because I'm like totally struggling right now. So this is a good conversation. I need some input on this. I mean, Terry knows that I've been like crazy quarantine. I have 2 kids and, we're in this, we've been in it, right? So we've been ultra safe, we'll say, and I'm double vaxxed. And so life is beginning to resume. And, so I ride now, I change up my training. A lot of my training, since it's so specialty, is a lot of indoors. And then in season, I begin to transition to the track when the track's open. So I'll then go to the track, and then on the weekends, I also ride outdoors, and then for me, the burnout is over once I can start racing, right? But now that racing is not happening, I am totally burned out and I'm ready. Like my body's ready and my mind is like totally overtraining. So I'm burned out and I don't know what to do. I mean, the one things, and I've mentioned this before a little bit, is I kind of play with my toys, and so I'll change my wheels on my bike.
Yeah.
Put a different frame set together, or I think you guys saw me on a different stream. I built my indoor bike, and that kind of gives me a little bit of motivation. So messing around with different parts helps, but.
That's what I was gonna chime in with, and hopefully I can segue into getting Jason to riding on different surfaces, because that's how I do it. That's why I'm such an advocate for riding all bikes, because that is one of the major weapons that I use against being unmotivated for riding bikes, because I'm the type of person that I don't like to ride, even when I ride home, ride from here to my house. I don't even like to take the same streets. I refuse to ride the same route on the way back. There's a popular ride. I've mentioned it before. It's called River Road and 9W. Everyone does this loop, and it's a beautiful ride, but I just can't ride the same thing over and over. And then I can't ride the same thing like a there and back either. It's mind numbing to me. So I don't like it. And so I will go out of my way to ride a different route. And then on top of that, riding the same bike over and over and over can start to lead to being unmotivated for myself. So I switch up the bikes. And so what better way to change it up than changing the surfaces you're riding on? So, you have a track bike, that's cool, riding around the street. And then you might, if you can ride a different bike, ride it on dirt or gravel, or even if you have the same bike. Some people do ride track lacrosse, that's a thing. Try riding on different surfaces, and it really changes everything up. For me, anyways.
One thing for me that I kind of do also, just to dangle a carrot out in front, is kind of set a little bit of a goal. You know, like if you're in training, I mean, for me, my training always has purpose. I'm like training for a national event, or I'm trying to win a national event, or then go to maybe, you know, a different event. So you've got your long term, like your seasonal goals, and then, you know, you can also have shorter. You can break it up into like brackets or training groups, and then also you know, some sort of like event of some sort at the end of a training block, like a 1 month block, you know. So like just recently I went down to South Carolina after I got vaccinated. We did a trip to South Carolina, and I was able to get back on the velodrome. So I spent like 4 days, you know, in Rock Hill at the really nice track, and I brought my road bike. And so I spent 4 days where I did like rides on the track, and then also I doubled up and then did road rides in the afternoon. And that was really awesome. And that helped like kind of the burnout, because at least you have something to like look forward to, and a bit of a trip and new terrain to ride on and everything else. So, you know, little goals totally help along the way.
Yeah, and imagine, I don't race track, and I imagine riding on different tracks, different velodromes is something that keeps it exciting too. You're like, oh, we're gonna go ride, you know, maybe T-Town's, that's Jason's, well, the local is Casino, but I don't want to diss on Casino too much, but T-Town is like, you know, it's like Casino, T-Town's like way up here. But like traveling, like you've been all over the place and raced on different tracks. I bet you, you know, speaking of different surfaces, like there's wood tracks that you've raced on, right?
Yeah.
And then they ride different, and tire pressure's a thing, and I'm sure that keeps it exciting too. And the length of the track and the banks, the angles of the banks.
Yeah, that's
I can
really
see that
cool.
being interesting.
Yeah, and you know, like Rock Hill, for instance, is a beautiful outdoor 250. You know, so I mean, they've got a gorgeous facility, and even so, the I don't know what it's called, but it's like this. It's almost like a velo park. So you ride from the velodrome, and within like 2 or 3 blocks. I'm like a city person, but you know, within a quarter of a mile, a kilometer, they have like a world-class BMX track, and they also have a crit course. And so then behind both of those are like really crazy mountain bike trails, you know. So that's a facility that I totally look forward to going to, because I can bring different bikes and, you know, like experiment and kind of like ride different terrain and stuff. And then also, yeah, the track is like crazy beautiful. It's got like really steep banking. It's an outdoor 250, and you know, you get to like try out different gear and ride different surfaces and everything. So that's really nice. David's behind the scenes. If you ever wanted to know Mr. Robinson. Hello, sir.
He's here.
Someone in the chat earlier was like, "Is he where is he?" And when I came in, actually, he wasn't outside, and so I was like, "Oh, we changed his office for the."
How's Jason's audio now? I fixed it, huh?
My audio good?
I got it up there.
Yeah, I will say, and you know, like that's one cool thing about getting into track racing is it's kind of like it's a little community, like even worldwide. I mean, that community at large, and it is super cool in the U.S. or in other countries. If you get into it, you eventually want to explore all the other tracks, you know, and you know, different tracks are fast. Some are faster, some are slower, and you know, like I've been fortunate to go to some really epic tracks, and that totally helps, you know, keep motivation and, you know, then be inspired to, you know, have goals and visit other tracks and get to know other people and their style of racing, and also the way that other tracks, their style of racing in general, you know. So that's really cool, and that's super fun, and that can also, like, you can earmark a season of racing based around like different tracks you want to travel to and different experiences.
True. Hey, okay, making sure my mic works now. Shit. Oh, Jason is talking this time.
Talking a lot.
Yeah,
Am I talking more than normal?
Yeah, he's going for it. We talked about a little bit about track racing. I want to say a quick shout out to Fyodor Mikhailov. Welcome to the NX group. Welcome to the NX group. We got NX, we got GX, we got XO1, XX1. Let's see. Who and where? I'm thinking of finding an old aluminum steel frame to build up my old gravel setup. That sounds great. I think that sounds like a good idea. Ride what you got.
Like an awesome idea. I'm a big fan of that, like, making, like, adapting what you have, if that's what you've got, it's fun to change it up, change up the gearing, change up the position on your bike, like that can totally, like, help keep it, fresh and new.
Also switching your grips for fleshlights. Oh, I mean shake weights, said Billy Ma. I thought that was pretty good. Thank you, Billy, for that. It made me chuckle when I read it. How many of you guys are out there riding mountain bikes? That's the real question. I'm trying to know. You guys, hold up.
Terry's always on point.
I got the mountain bike. Let me turn this thing back on.
There's lots of knobby tires in this shop nowadays because of Terry.
Yeah.
So look, I got the gravel bike right here, and then I also I have the transition, which still has a. Look at this! Look at this seat post. That's not supposed to do that.
No.
No. They actually sell.
It's got a lot of play.
Yeah, it needs to be rebuilt. But I've been riding this a lot, and I know I got some questions and some responses from people, not really on YouTube, but on like Strava, I think, and Instagram. People saying, when are you going to do more hotlines? The mountain bike stuff's cool, but I want more hotlines. And look, sorry to tell you, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to ride what I want. We're talking about cycling motivation.
Yeah.
That thing keeps me motivated. So this thing keeps me motivated.
This thing's so tight too. This has got and I was going to ask, but I guess so this is all tricked out, and this is force axis with the Eagle axis earlier, and then he's like a badass, and he has the RockShox wireless Bluetooth. And so
you gotta hit both of them together.
Both of them?
Yeah. So lean on the seat.
All right. So look at this. This is wireless. There's no cable. This is like the battery. So here we go. So you click both of these, and you get your dropper. That is wireless, and that is badass.
And it goes down, and then you hit it again. Boop. Goes
Dude.
up. And then the shifting is wireless too, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. That's tight.
This bike actually started, like, I didn't just buy this bike. People are always like, well, you have this nice stuff. This bike started as a Ritchie Outback. In fact, we were talking about how I got that bike yesterday. I did a video project for Ritchie a couple years back, and they traded some money and a bike for it. That bike was actually a Ritchie Outback that I did for a video project, and then I did a video project for the number 22. So I swapped and swapped out the parts and sold the Ritchie, and then upgraded and got this bike. Also doing a thing. It just keeps changing. That's a 52. That's the new Eagle.
He's got a 52.
42.
42.
Yeah. Don't really need it for that. Like, I want to put a 46 on the front eventually.
Looks pretty clean.
But imagine a 46 or like a 48 on the front. You can still climb, and you can still do all right on the road, because that's a 9.
Man, I should have brought Coop in.
So
he
good.
was like at my house.
I told him.
He's at my house.
I told him
He's
yesterday.
like, where are you going? And I'm like, I gotta go.
I thought he was doing plans here.
And then he was like, oh. He was like, it starts at 11, and I was like,
no, 11:30.
No, I think it's 11:30. He's like, no, it's 11. I should have just brought him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's cool? I'm kind of the same way, and Terry's totally this way, is that like every time I come in, like Terry's like changing up his bike.
Yeah,
and
you should.
It's always like a revision of some sort, and I'm totally the same way. Like I kind of like, I don't, maybe it's not just, it's for any reason really. Like you want to try a different part, or you got a new setup, or you've got a saddle, or you're changing a gear, or you're, changing something.
Me, it's usually because I break stuff.
That's true.
It's usually because I broke something. I'm like, fuck. And instead of getting it repaired, I'm like, well, I'll get the upgrade. Instead of buying the same thing, I'll get the upgrade now because it needs to be. I need a new one anyways.
We order parts like all the time in the shop. We're doing like tons of bike builds and everything else. And so I got like this pile of bikes. We got like 4 or 5 bikes in the queue right now, and I got like this. I got all these boxes, right? And I'm opening boxes, and I see like I'm like, it's like a lever or 2 levers.
Oh, it was just the blade.
I even joked
Yeah.
with one of my guys. Terry and I are really alike because like you break something and you don't order one of them as a replacement.
You order
always have the
two. You have to,
So, like,
because that was that.
Yeah, you
that's
have
what
to do
happened.
that.
That's what happened here.
Because you know it's gonna break again.
You guys, those of you who caught the stream with BKXC when I was in Arkansas, I snapped the lever off of here and they were trying to sell me a whole. I had to buy a replacement brake. This is a shittier version of the brakes, the front brake that I have.
Oh yeah. Oh,
All I broke was the screw.
Right.
It was just the screw. And it's $11 for the whole lever. You can't just get the screw. And the screw was stuck on the other side of the lever. So the shop was like, oh, I can buy you a whole new brake set. And I was like, I have access to Q. And then he was like, oh. I said the magic words.
Yeah, you gotta
then
drop it in there.
And I was like, I already looked, and they don't have any in stock. And then he was like, oh.
Hey.
That's how you say.
Did you get the hookup?
Yeah, that's how you say I have an in, but I'm not, without being like, yo.
Hey.
So if you guys want to know a secret, no, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
that should, oh my God, you could do that.
Yeah.
That's funny though. And I mean, also, you know, the worst thing is like, and I kind of do this when I travel, like certain things I'll bring an extra of just in case I like, you know, break it, you know, or like, you know, I got to do that with tires or like, you know, that's the one thing that's hard about like traveling with bikes is that like, you know, there's a lot of stuff, you know, but you know, if you know your bike and you know what could break, you always want to bring a little bit extra.
If you're already going to a location with your bike, like traveling with it, like this was, I already knew I should bring, there's a couple things that I try to bring. I try to bring some sealant, and I try to bring the quick link for the Eagle chains, because those are, I broke one when I was there, and I had one.
Did you?
Yeah, I broke one and I used it. So those break a lot. So I have like a tool on my bike that carries some of that extra stuff. And now I'm gonna bring one lever with me every time because it just broke on the trails, and I had 2 more days in Arkansas and I was fucked. I couldn't ride because it was my rear brake.
That sucks.
I could have taken my front brake apart, put it on my rear, and not had a front brake, and I kind of could ride like that. But so you need both brakes.
You can flip them upside down?
Yeah, they flip. They're universal. Yeah.
It's weird. The Eagle links, I guess, aren't like, they're not, they should make them stronger than, like, it's basically a road link, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
the same thing.
They only offer the Axis, the like peacock color one, the purple and green.
Is that stronger?
It's not the. It's. Let me see. I'll find it.
Yeah, because they should know that people are doing more like off-road stuff. Like
they know. See, it's right there.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's like a road link.
Yeah, but it's for the 12-speed stuff. So yeah, I'm sure. There's actually, if you guys follow Burn Peak, like Seth's Bike Hacks, he made a chain over COVID. He was like, I want to see if the quick links are actually, if it makes a stronger chain. So he went and ordered 300 or 286 quick links and made a chain.
Oh, he put it together?
Made a chain out of quick links. It's on YouTube. I would link it if I had the link ready, but that just reminded me. And yeah, he made a whole chain out of quick links. Did anyone see that one? So good.
I mean, on my track bike, I run like the BMX chain. I run the KMC Cool Chain because that's like beefier. You know, you can't run that on with a geared bike, but you know, because like I'll snap a regular, you know, Izumi chain or a regular SRAM chain, you know, like a PC1, you know, so you know, you want to be sure if you're racing on the track that you know you're not like snapping chains. I mean, I'm not even a sprinter, and you can snap a chain, and that's like super dangerous.
No, it's the worst thing, especially if you're on an uphill. And you break a chain. You guys, has that ever happened to you? You flip over immediately. You just flip over. There's no. You have all the pressure on the cranks, and as soon as that thing snaps, you're pushing so hard forward, you just get ejected. It's such a fucked up feeling. You don't even have time to react usually. I've done it like 2 or 3 times, and you just are on the ground. You're like, what the fuck? And you look, and your chain's on the ground. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's a really good reason to carry links. Yeah. That's like one of those things, like if I go to 9W, you know, you gotta like stock up whatever it is you think you could potentially like, that could like take your day out, you know, and you can never be too sure, but you want to try to carry like a little bit a little bit of extra stuff just because you never know really what could happen.
Thanks, Drift, for the quick link. And Mike, thanks for the. Sorry, Jason. Thanks for the heads up on that. Yeah, the Ronin does what it wants sometimes. It did link on me, or lock on me.
There was in a track race a guy broke a link like right in the middle of a race, and it'll like take out a field, you know, or like on a standing start, you know, you like stomp on the pedals and you break a chain, you could really fuck yourself up like really good, and or like in a mass start like race, you know, you could like take out a field, you know, and that like. Not only is it like really dangerous, and I mean, no one wants to really admit it or talk about it, it's also really expensive. You know, like you're on an expensive bike and you take out a field of expensive bikes, you know, that's like, that sucks, you know, and, you know, unfortunately it's part of racing, but, you know, you want to try to, that's why, again, people use like really strong stuff, you know, yeah.
Save some quick links for the fishes, dude. That's funny. The dude at the shop here in Twin Cities recognized my Hotline sticker on my mountain bike. Hell yeah. See, I got a Hotline sticker on my mountain bike too. So does Andre. I'm trying to, Hotline's losing its fixed gear street meaning and just being applied to all bikes. I have a few Hotline stickers on some other mountain bikes too. There was one more thing that I wanted to say in here. Where was it? TK Bike, North Carolina. Speaking of Seth, you need to come hit this area in Pasaya Dew Point. Yo, check it out. Without saying too much, Jason and I are going to be really, really close to that area next week. And there's a potential that you might see me in the area. So, I don't know. Shoot me a DM or something.
Yeah.
Hit me up, because I might have some free time towards the end of, not next week, the week after, right? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Wait, is it next week?
Are you staying?
Yeah, I extended my tickets a little
Oh.
So I will be there. I'm looking to ride, actually, in North Carolina, so there we go.
So you're going to go, we'll chat about that.
Yeah.
You should chat with Ben because he's going back to that area.
Yeah, that'd be
He's
sweet.
from that area. We're
That's
doing
sweet.
stuff.
So we're shooting some videos out there, 2 videos.
Top line stuff.
Some dirt stuff, too. Getting Jason in the dirt.
If you, I'm getting Terry in the dirt.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, Jason's the one that put it together. The reason why I'm going.
Yeah, no,
but
he's the reason
I'm
where
excited
I'm going.
to see Jason in the dirt. I mean, even though we're not really going to be riding, it's be more filming someone else, but it'll be cool.
We'll still be out there. We'll be up in the cut. If you look around the shop, you'll see some elements of product that we're going to bring out there.
Oh yeah.
But that's
It'll be
kind
there.
of, you know, that's throwing it out there, but not really. But yeah.
I wanted to. We're still good on time, but I wanted to right now just throw it in there so we have some questions. It's been a minute, since we've done a live stream, so looking to, I don't know, hit us with any questions or anything that you have for either Jason or myself. We both have chat open. We're going to continue talking, but want to take the end of this stream to just answer any questions, because it's been a minute since I've like directly engaged with YouTube. We haven't done one of these live streams. It's been what, two weeks or 3?
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, because I wasn't here. I was in Arkansas, and then the week
Insane.
after we couldn't do it. We weren't ready. So we're finally all here. We formed.
We're back. We're in it. One thing I was going to say before about like the burnout is, you know, like Terry and I have been talking about this, like trying to plan like a trip, like travel, you know, and that like a big trip, you know, like we've been talking for ages about going to Japan, you know, or like going out to Asia.
COVID,
like, you know, and then COVID.
Ruined
Oh my
it.
God, we had like the craziest plans a year ago, like, and all of that got canceled. But like, there's like serious stoke in like planning something like epic, and you know, like if you know, like whatever, like come September, that in the spring you're gonna go to Europe or to like Asia or to the US or plan some big huge trip. That can give you motivation like all the way through, you know, and that can give you like a big long-term like motivation. So, you know, also like even in the let's say the bike messenger scene, you know, like that's really one of the first scenes that like for me, well, Yeah, I'll say that. Well, for me, that like was international. You know, you can go anywhere in the world and hang out with like a bike messenger crew and you'll feel at home. You can go anywhere in the world and there's like a connection, there's a link, there's like family, you know, and that can bring you around the world, you know, and or all over the US, anywhere, you know, like South America, you can go anywhere, you know, and really any kind of scene that you're into or any kind of bike or discipline that you're into has awesome riding and like a scene, and you can link up with people and like totally chill out. So that's a really good way of also like trying to avoid the burnout or being inspired to, you know, like,
Dude,
you know,
traveling with a bike is always
that's the best.
That's like
That's life.
that's what I feel like people credit like the hotline or whatever stuff for like helping the YouTube channel. I think it was me taking advantage of traveling on productions and then shooting bike videos while I was in other places on either it's productions like work related or vacations, and I would always shoot some bike stuff when I was there, and that's for me was the outlet and the help to stay motivated and stay creative and stay riding is exactly what Jason's saying, meeting other people, and it's kind of like a family. Like I've been when I went to Indonesia, I didn't know anybody.
Right.
I had one contact that someone put me in contact with someone in Bali, and that person in Bali was like happened to be the guy, and then they gave me a bike. They like took me. It was awesome. And then I went to Jakarta, and they told them that I was coming, and they knew everyone there. It was an amazing thing. It's just because we might not even understand each other with language, with at least spoken language, but because we ride bikes, we have a similar interest and a similar lifestyle. It was like we understood each other on a different level, and
Totally.
It was great.
And that usually you go to one place and that trip leads to another trip,
Yep.
you know, and or some other experience. And yeah, totally. I mean, that's like you go and you hang out with people and you go out with them and you ride around, you rip on bikes, you go out, you kind of party, and like you could have full conversations with people. You're not even speaking the same language, and you know what they're saying, and you can have a blast with people and, you know, make connections and then invite them to hang out with you where you're from, and you know that kind of like the whole thing carries on, you know, and it becomes like a total. It's a happening. It's an experience, you know, and that, you know, that's totally rad, and that can go on for ages, you know. That can just keep rolling.
I missed that. So
I know,
hopefully,
yeah.
I got that vaccination, and you guys saw me on Twitch. I hit up 8 Krispy Kremes to celebrate. I think that was it wasn't my idea. It was actually I'm pretty sure it was tall Asian Mike, moderator, or someone mentioned it. You should do a stream like that, and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And that was the celebration. So hopefully we can travel soon. You know, we can show them proof of vaccination, and countries will start letting us in. We'll see.
Tim
It'll
Burns
happen.
was talking about single speed frame, and then someone here, Ricky's mentioned in the Affinity Terry B bike, and all that stuff's in the work. We're like we're in this weird position with the industry and factories and stuff right now, where it's like there's like super long lead times and, you know, lack of parts and lack of tubing and everything else, and so there's weird hiccups happening. But yeah, we totally have lots of stuff in the works.
Yeah, that's all a little backed up because of, again, the big COVID has slowed manufacturing. Same thing that happens when you try to go to a bike shop and get stuff and they don't have anything. It's the same thing for companies like Jason trying to make things. The manufacturing process is also stalled. So kind of, you know, that's just what we're living through right now.
Yeah. Carnell has a really awesome point. Hotline definitely gets me motivated, and that is totally true. I see like all up on the chats, and like, you know, people are stoked. They look at a rad video, and that's really hype. And I'll totally admit also, like Terry and I have filmed like throughout, you know, the winter or whatever, and that like gets me stoked. Like we'll talk about like putting together, you know, like an edit or what to do or where to go, and or Terry's always trying out new things and new equipment and everything, and that like stokes me out and gives me a reason to like whatever keep it rolling, you know, so we can create content and like have fun, you know. But the hotline videos totally stoke people out, and that's rad too.
Boss Bostist1. What's up? Channel member. Terry, you're able to avoid route fatigue in the Bay Area, or do even the headlands and all those epic trails get old eventually? Well, there are so many rides there. So you can ride in the headlands on practically 90%, 95% dirt. And it's not like super rugged terrain always. Some of it's like double, triple wide, like track, like wide enough for a car to drive on. And then you can do headlands rides on the road, on a road bike, or even on the same bike. And then you can go south, and you can ride all the epic trails in the South Bay, Pacifica. There's a really good different, what's it called? Kind of like a cross or gravel ride where you're riding like it's called Planet of the Apes, and then it's like half paved, half dirt. And then you can go to Santa Cruz, you can go to the East Bay. There's really Joaquin Miller. There's like a bunch of good trail riding there. And then there's also amazing road riding there. And now that you can ride across the bridge from Marin basically all the way over to the East Bay, around the Long Way, which I did last time I was there, you can almost ride all the way around and touch all of the tips of the Bay Area now, with the exception of the Bay Bridge. Is not totally complete yet, but I never felt fatigue, and a part of that was also because I was like in the bays when I first got into riding mountain bikes. I didn't have a gravel bike yet, so it was either me riding a road bike, a track bike, or a mountain bike. And I would just, if I was riding on a lot of dirt, I would ride my mountain bike. It was a hardtail, and that's all I'd ride. And I would do 60, 70 mile rides on my mountain bike, and it was a slower ride than the road bike, but it was enjoyable, man.
That's a different experience, riding different bikes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. Even with mountain bikes, there's so many flavors. It's so varied. Even with gravel bikes, or there's even it varies with road bikes too. I guess if you want to get specific with like TT bikes and how many other road bikes are there? I was gonna say tri bikes. Yeah, tri bikes, I guess. But it varies so much, at least with mountain biking. There's hardtail, you can do like super XC stuff, or you can do like kind of more trail / downhill or enduro like my bike is right now, all the way to like full downhill and go to bike park. So it's crazy how different every ride is and how much it actually changes your ride. Let's see. Yeah, 60 miles on trails is not a joke, but they're not all. It's not super hard climb. It's elevation, but it's not technical. It's not like East Coast climbing. It's like kind of the difference, I think. I'm starting to learn about the East Coast and the West Coast. The trail riding on the West Coast, you descend down super flowy, sometimes kind of technical descents. But then the climb outs, they're always pretty damn chill. They might be steep, but they're not like, you're not doing technical rocky climbs. On the East Coast, it's hard to find that chill fire road climb up. It's like you're riding up some rocky ass technical stuff, and I'm starting to appreciate that side of riding mountain bikes from being here on the East Coast, and also riding in Sedona really opened my eyes to that kind of riding. Sorry, I just took over Jason by talking about mountain bikes.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I got nothing to say. I'm like, yeah, I heard that too.
Let's see. This is Drift King. I know for me, I cut back in order to stay motivated. Instead of burning myself out going, I have to do X mileage a week or a day, I'm just going to get on my bike and have fun. Has helped a lot.
Totally.
No, totally. That is, yeah, numbers, like, I appreciate the Strava, weekly goal thing if you're like a premium person, paid person. You can set a weekly goal, and it's there. I like that it's there to say, oh yeah, I hit my goal this week, but I'm not training or anything. So just hitting that goal, and just sometimes, I rarely hit it. It's like 100 and something miles. It's like, cause I ride a lot of mountain bikes and stuff. So, my rides are usually anywhere from 8 miles to 20 miles max on a mountain bike, You know, that's a long day, 20-mile ride on some real trails. And when I do hit it, I'm like, oh, I did a lot of riding this week.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's a really good point also,
But it's
because
just a
like,
number.
there's like, yeah, I mean, let's face it, we if you're on this channel, we have like serious bike addiction, you know, and that like tends to like rule our life, you know, not gonna lie. And, you know, like there's like balance of life and bikes and and everything else. You got kids, you got a business, or you work, and you know, like,
Yeah.
and then a social life if you have one, or you can have one with COVID or whatever it is, you know. But there's certainly times where it's healthy to choose something other than bike riding, you know. And you know, sometimes you're in the middle of something and you're like, for me, with the level of training, I'm like, I really gotta ride, you know. But there are times when I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to. I can make that up, and you know, it depends sometimes. You know, you've got to choose it over, you know, not in my case, but you know, like it's healthy to choose something other than riding, you know, and that's totally okay. You know, you're still like hitting a level of fitness and you're still like getting your fix, you know. Sometimes you got to just like choose something, you know, other than bike riding.
What's up, Dennis Blake? Sometimes you just got to make yourself a good Gibraltar, right, my guy?
That's like, do I go on a bike ride, or do I go and, you know, have a drink? And sometimes that's okay.
Yeah. Do you even Strava, bro? Yeah, I don't know. Let me see, what time is it? We're almost out of time here. Shout out to Cody Sullivan. Welcome to the new NX level membership of the YouTube channel.
Thanks, dude.
So is anyone riding today? I'm going on a ride today. I'm dressed semi-casually. I do have like road or gravel,
Yeah, you're
whatever.
ready to go,
I got
bro.
mountain shoes on, whatever you want to call
Dude,
them.
Tara's ready to go.
I'm riding
and
the,
he's in shorts.
Yeah, I'm not in kit today. I'm riding the 22. We're gonna go ride. So I rode OCA with Cooper a while back, and he took me on a pretty cool route. But I found recently over in Inwood Park, DB Pooper, Dennis Blake. Sorry, that's your Twitch name. There's a cutty ass downhill trail in there. So I was thinking we would ride up the normal way we would ride to go to OCA, and we're gonna hit Highbridge Park and ride the trails through Highbridge, and then take that left. I forget what street that is. That goes towards where your coffee shop is. And then it takes us all the way over to Inwood Park. You ride through Inwood Park all the way through the back. You climb over that bridge, and then you go for that cutty thing that takes you that highway that goes across from the very tip of Manhattan to the Bronx right there. Right in that little section where you get up to that bridge on the bike path, there is a really cutty DH kind of line. It goes down a bunch of stairs and stuff. My friend just posted a video about it, and I was like,
Can you
"Yo,
see that
I
off
gotta
of
go."
the, what is that,
And then we'll hit
It's
OCA.
not the FDR, but I know that's a really rad spot. It's steep too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty steep. It's not the FDR. FDR is on the other side. It's the West Side Highway.
Yeah, but it's so close right there, right?
I guess they cross, but it's on the very, very tip. Like Inwood Park is like
Yeah.
the northern, like little park tip that's on the west side of Manhattan. Right there, there's like a bridgeway that goes over the Amtrak and the Metro. I guess it's just Amtrak. It's the stuff that goes into.
Grand Central Station.
No, it goes into the other Penn Station.
Penn Station.
Yeah, it goes to Penn Station right there, I believe. So anyways, we're going to do that, and then we're going to ride OCA up. It's me and Richard, our Winchard. And then there's a section that, oh, we lost Jason here. There's a section that I haven't ridden yet that I'm really excited to try. I was told about this area that's right east of Tarrytown, and when I've driven by on the Sawmill Parkway, I've seen a couple people on bikes in there. So I have the coordinates on where to go from there. So we're gonna ride OCA and then go check out this area that's like unlisted on Trail Forks. We're gonna do it on gravel bikes first, so we don't, chug a lug on our mountain bikes the whole time. It's kind of far mission for the mountain bikes, but yeah. So we're just gonna gravel it up. And see what they got over there. And I'm gonna bring a camera with me, so there'll probably be a YouTube video or something about it. But
Sweet.
it'll be cool.
Yeah, man.
Let's see, Ivan. Found your channel recently. I wish I would have found it earlier. You have some incredible content. Keep up the amazing work. Thanks, man. Welcome. I'm glad you found the channel.
You can binge watch. There's tons of videos.
Yeah, there's hours of videos.
I got your email yesterday, and I watched your first hotline video.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you got an email? Oh.
Yeah.
You got the email.
Did you know about that email?
No, I didn't know.
Someone's working on it for Terry.
When I send a channel member thing, it sends an email?
I got an email yesterday. It
Oh.
said your first video, your first hotline.
Yeah, it was a test. I didn't even know what I was doing. Yeah.
Did you guys get the email?
Yeah, for the channel members, I did post an old video it's private, it's unlisted, but if you're a channel member, you can see, or a Patreon supporter, you can see the first hotline. You can see how it was a test. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just trying a new angle, and I was like, oh, let's put the GoPro and a gimbal on my helmet and see what it looks like. And I was imagining that there would be lots of edits, like all the other bike videos I've ever seen, but the footage was so smooth. I was like, well, this is mesmerizing. I can watch the same shot for like more than 10 seconds. I can like watch this whole 3-minute video. I was like, is this video too long? I don't know. Let's just put it on the internet. And that's how Hotline became what it is. So that's on the community tab if you guys want to check it out. There's also some early released and extended cut of a video that I just shot while I was in Arkansas. So check that out. And then someone also said something about an e-bike, and I know you're probably talking about the Affinity, but I recently made the Cannondale Neo e-bike that I have a single speed.
Talk about iterations of bikes. That is like every other week that bike is like up on the stand, and like it has had like half a dozen iterations already, and I think it's in its most like badass state right now.
So look at this. This is why though. You see this? So this is an Eagle cassette. This was on my mountain bike. I snapped the axle. Talking about why I changed things. I snapped the axle on my.
Oh, that was from the e-bike?
No, this is from my mountain bike. So I snapped the axle on it, and so basically this expensive Eagle cassette is because the axle broke. It's super. I can't get it off of the axle.
No.
And so this was. So what I did was I took.
Can I see it?
If you can get it out, good luck. I don't need to save. I don't need to save that at all.
Oh man.
There's nothing to hold on to. You can chain whip. But the chain whip is too thick. It's just like a big pain in the ass. So I even put that in the vise and tried to really crank it off, and it wouldn't spin. So I don't know. So what happened was I took my the Eagle cassette off the e-bike and I put it on my mountain bike. It was a nicer cassette anyways. That one's a GX and that one's a XO1.
This is XD.
Yeah, that's XD.
So you got to be able to clamp it somehow.
Yeah, so you can clamp it to the paws. I don't care. I put it in the vise like that, but it was moving still. So instead, because it's broken, I was like, well, I don't actually shift the gears on the e-bike anyways. I'm just gonna make it a single speed. So it was only like $40 to make it a single speed. So that's what I did.
That thing's awesome. That bike is so awesome.
The gearing on it is it needs a little bit of a bigger chain ring, and then it'll be good. It's a little spinny still.
I rode somebody else's recently, a Specialized road bike, e-bike, and it was badass, dude. It's kind of just like it's crazy. I'm sprinting down the road at like 45 miles an hour, like not feeling it. That was really rad.
Yeah,
like not sweating.
Yeah, I like that thing. It slows you down after 25. It doesn't really give you any more. So it's great for when I'm filming, like when I filmed with Jason upstate, when it was the winter, I was on that bike. When I filmed Laura, I was on that bike. When I filmed Tony, with the drone stuff upstate, that was on everything's lately. All those like videos with more like some climbing and stuff and like more dynamic shots have been on the bike, and it's a really good tool if you're comfortable riding with no hands or one hand. It's a really good tool to carry gear around because now I can pedal and film and not have to worry about like putting power down. You know what I mean?
They're stable. There's like mass to that. It's like riding a motorcycle. Like you don't have a problem taking your hands off a motorcycle. There's so much mass, so once that thing's rolling, it's like, it's rolling, you know, and so you don't have to worry about it. But he's like incredible in that, like, yeah, we're like cruising down the road, and he's like no-handed, like, you know, eyes on the prize, which is not looking forward, it's like looking at the subject.
Yeah, I'm looking like diagonally or sideways.
There's a couple of videos. That video the other video you did with Bike Snob.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, they're passing like buildings, and you can see in the windows, you can see the reflection of him in the windows, and he's like cruising down the street, and we're going this way, and he's like fully like just not focused. I mean, he's fully focused on what he's doing, and he's using like peripheral like vision to make sure that he's not like running into something or like in danger.
Because you know the bike.
That's pro. That's Terry B. Yeah, man. No, that's badass, dude. But also that, like, you know, the e-bike helps make that possible, because it's also like giving him, you know, extra power, and then there's also, it is a stability thing on that bike, right? Because the bike is stable once you're like rolling on it.
So the bike has a 40 mil lefty suspension fork, and then the rear end also has suspension. It's like 20 mil.
It's that too.
So it has suspension in it, and then the tires are 650B 47Cs, so they're big balloons. So the whole bike is just like a cushion, you know?
Yeah.
And the geometry of that bike is made, like, no offense to anyone old in there, but it's like for an older person, the geometry is very upright. Even though it was a drop bar bike, it's very upright, like the way that it's, like, the angles are. So like when I'm on it, like I kind of want, like I was telling Tatum last night, I was like, man, these bars have too much. I wish it was a little lower down, because I just feel like I'm so upright. But actually, if I was filming like with the helmet with a camera on it and stuff, if I have power, I don't need to be aero anyways. Like I can be upright, and I can get a taller shot anyway. So it's actually perfect. So it's a good bike, man.
It is a good bike.
I mean,
especially for what he's doing. And it's funny, I forgot that it was a drop bar bike. I mean, like,
it was a drop bar bike.
That's so dialed the way he's got it right now.
That's where I got those shifters from. It came from the Cannondale. That's why my number
awesome.
22 looks the way it is, because I borrowed some parts from the Cannondale.
I bet the setup you got on the e-bike right now, I bet it sticks for a while.
I just need to change the gearing a little bit, but yeah, I like it a lot.
I dig it. And he's got those big old balloon tires. I'm such a fan of that.
If it had a dropper, it would probably be like, I would be like one little extra push.
You see, I guess it's not done.
Just a dropper. I heard there's some good droppers out there.
I think we got a couple of droppers in the shop.
I know. I know, and that bike is already internally routed for a dropper, so it's ready to go.
It is.
All right, you guys, it's been a good chat. We did talk about some motivation. We also talked about a lot of other things. Ricky Grulon, I guess I need to specify in the channel members. Yeah, it's GX and above for all of the new unreleased stuff. The NX stuff is just extra support. I need to write that somewhere, or I might just get rid of the NX group altogether. Sorry, everybody who's in NX. Still figuring that part out. It's just a way for me to make the YouTube channel members and Patreon equal, so they need to be at the same level. All right, enough of that. Enough of this. Enough of me rambling. Enough of Jason. Should we do this again sometime? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. David in the back. Thank you, sir. Thank you for.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Helping with the technicals.
Making it happen. Making a visual.
I don't know. Thank you guys for being here today.
Always.
And hopefully we get to do some more of these soon. But probably not next week, because we're not going to be here.
No.
Shit.
The week after, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So
We'll have some
anyways,
guests. We want to bring on some guests.
much love to y'all. We'll see you on the next
Thanks, guys.
stream. And peace.
See ya.